Hey y'all, welcome to the Bethany Grace Weekly Podcast. We've been reading through the Bible in 2026 and love to have you join us. So pull up a chair and gather around as we highlight some of the chapters you'll be listening to this week. Well, welcome back, Bethany family, and anyone else who's listening along.
We're glad you are joining us on this reading through the Bible chronologically in 2026.
This week, we're covering Exodus chapter 13 through 34, which, fair warning, it might feel like a lot. There's deliverance, wilderness wandering, thunder and lightning at Mount Sinai. There's detailed building instructions, and then the catastrophic golden calf meltdown.
Basically, it's everything you'd expect from a people who were rescued by God and then immediately forget that they were rescued by God.
Yeah. This week opens with God finishing what he started, leading Israel out, parting the Red Sea, and bringing Pharaoh's pursuit to a decisive end.
One of the things to notice is how little Israel actually does. God fights for them, God opens the sea, God goes before them, God saves. Their main contribution is walking forward and just really trying not to panic.
Which honestly feels pretty relatable, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
And then, right on the other side of deliverance, there's worship and songs and celebration and joy.
Miriam's song is pretty epic and it's recorded throughout the Bible. It's this mountaintop experience, but it only lasts for about 5 minutes.
Because once they're free, they're also hungry and thirsty and tired and vocal about it.
Yeah, very vocal about it. Grumbling, we were better off in Egypt kind of stuff. And this becomes their unofficial slogan. They always talk about leeks and garlic and the stew pots they had. And it becomes clear that while God delivered them out of Egypt, this time in the wilderness will be spent in God trying to get Egypt out of them.
Which is wild because Egypt included slavery. But isn't that how memory works sometimes? When God doesn't come through for us like we want, we romanticize what God rescued us from.
Yeah, this is important. God doesn't cancel the relationship. He provides manna, water, and even leadership as Jethro gives Moses advice so that he doesn't burn out.
Daily bread. Daily dependence. God teaches them how they must trust him one day at a time. And for us in the new covenant, this is called walking by the Spirit.
Then we get to Sinai. The tone changes. Thunder, fire, smoke, and God sets out boundaries for how we should follow him.
This is where God gives the law, and it's crucial to remember the order. God rescues first, then he gives commands.
The law isn't this ladder to climb to earn God's favor. It's instead a way for redeemed people to learn how to live with a holy God in their midst. And it's this setup for the new covenant initiated by Jesus because Israel would never be able to uphold the law.
Yeah, and we can't either. And the old covenant is sealed with blood, which reminds us of the cost of being reconciled to God, and it echoes Jesus's initiation of the new covenant in the upper room, sealed with his blood.
Then we come to the tabernacle, instructions, details, measurements, materials, and many more details.
This is where some listeners are tempted to speed up the audio, except for Isaac, who's in the construction trades. He loved this stuff.
Yeah, don't do it. The repetition matters. God is saying, I'm not rescuing you just to send you away. I'm coming to live with you and among you. And the tabernacle is this movable dwelling place for God's presence with the nation. And it really points us forward to Emmanuel, God with us, and even further into the future to the end of all things where God will come and his place will be with us and we will be his people and he will be our God.
It's the overarching theme of the Bible. A holy God chooses nearness with sinful creation. That's the heart of it.
And then the golden calf. Israel breaks the covenant almost before they even got it.
Yeah.
And just heartbreaking moment.
While Moses is literally receiving instructions about worship, the people are making their own version of God.
Yeah, talk about catastrophic failure. And yet this is where we see one of the most important moments in the whole book.
God reveals his name, merciful and gracious, slow to anger, abounding in love. Judgment is real, but mercy is so much stronger. And this Bible verse is the most quoted passage in the Bible of the Bible. Again and again, God tells us who he is.
The covenant is renewed, not because Israel suddenly gets it right or even deserves it, but because God is always faithful.
So as you listen this week, keep watching for the pattern. A mediator standing between God and the people.
Blood sealing a covenant.
God dwelling with his people in spite of their sin.
All of this pointing forward to the rescue, the presence, the mercy. It's setting the stage for something even greater that we experience then in Christ.
As you listen this week, don't just hear Israel's story, see yourself in it.
Moments of faith, moments of fear, moments of forgetting, things that we all will experience in our lives. But we also see a God who stays.
Yeah, the same God who saves is the God who walks with his people through the wilderness and doesn't give up when they stumble.
Thanks for listening along with us, and stay with it even though these dense chapters might get long, but just keep at it.
And remember, you're not just reading history, you're learning what kind of God we belong to.
So keep it up, and we'll see you next week.